Hello and welcome to the Coupa Supplier Portal demo for GE Healthcare's valued suppliers. Today, we are going to go through a brief overview of the Coupa Supplier Portal, review the CSP registration process, and provide some helpful tips for navigating the portal. I will then provide a demo of the Coupa Supplier Portal and cover everything from creating your legal entity and remit to addresses, to creating invoices, and updating your company information. Please note that certain countries require suppliers to submit invoices through government portals or paper only. For example, Algeria is a paper-mandated country, and Italy requires use of government portals. You will be blocked from submitting invoices to those countries via CSP, even if you are enrolled in the CSP. As you may recall from the original email sent, the Coupa Supplier Portal, or the CSP for short, is a free instance of Coupa that allows you and other GE Healthcare suppliers to manage your company information, view purchase orders, and submit invoices for approval and payment. Let's go over the registration process for the CSP. When GE Healthcare goes live with Coupa, you will receive an email to the email address you provided on your registration form. When you open that email, you will see a button that says Join Coupa. When you click on this button, you'll be automatically redirected to create your CSP account. You also have the option to forward this invitation if you are the incorrect recipient of the invite. If you already have an active CSP account, you'll be automatically linked with GE Healthcare's Coupa system. Create your business account by filling in all the fields. Some fields will be defaulted from the information that GE Healthcare has on file for you. Make sure to check the privacy policy and terms of use checkbox, choose a secure password, then click Create an Account. Fill in your business information, address and remittance information, and tax information to complete your CSP profile. After clicking Next, Coupa will invite you to enhance your CSP profile. This is an optional step that can be taken later by selecting Skip for now. Here, you can see the process of inviting a new user to the CSP. You can invite users by navigating to the Setup tab in the CSP, clicking Invite User, filling out the user's contact information and selecting the appropriate permissions, then clicking Send Invitation. We will also go over this process during the demo in a few moments. Next, let's go over the CSP login process and how to navigate once inside the portal. Go to supplier.coupahost.com and log in using your email and the password you created. We recommend using Google Chrome while in this CSP, but Firefox and Edge are also supported. Clicking on the Home button in the navigation bar takes you to the CSP's homepage. The navigation bar at the top contains links to each CSP tab. Clicking on your name in the top right corner allows you to access your user account settings. Clicking the Notifications button shows your recent alerts and allows access to your notification settings. The Get Verified button allows you to sign up for Coupa's optional supplier verification service. Please note this is not a required step. Now that we've covered the basics of the Coupa Supplier Portal, it's time for our live demo. Now, when you first navigate to the CSP After creating your password, you'll be brought to the Profile tab. However, for our demo today, we're going to start here on the home page. Today, we're going to be acting as my test supplier, Brainy Bookstore, and going through the CSP as if it is my first time. First, let's hover over notifications. This shows notifications for various things. Select See All Notifications to view any messages you may have received from GE Healthcare, like new purchase orders or comments sent from the GE team. Then click on Notification Preferences to make any changes needed so you don't get too many emails. There are 3 ways you can receive notifications: online using the portal, email, or SMS, which is another term for a text message. At this time, I do not have a mobile number set up. If I check the SMS box, I will get a pop-up alerting me to enable my phone number to receive SMS notifications. To add your cell phone, enter it in the field here and click Verify. Now let's make some changes. I will select Form Responses to get notified when GE Healthcare approves any of my forms. Check the boxes, scroll to the bottom, and click Save. You will now see a green ribbon confirming success at the top of the page. Multi-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security to your account. I have already enabled this feature. To enable, you would follow the instructions on screen and enter your code from SMS or an authenticator app before clicking Enable. Now let's click on Setup. And let's change our view for the tabs across the top, as GE Healthcare does not use all the CSP's functionality. To do that, we click on Edit under Actions, and let's make those changes now. I will select some permissions, click Save, and now you can see the blue navigation bar has been updated. Now, let's see how to invite a new user to the CSP. Click on Invite User. You would fill in the name, email address, select permissions, and customers you would like the user to access. If you removed any permissions from your view, make sure to remove the same permissions from this user as well. Then click Send Invitation. I'll click Cancel for now. The user will receive an email similar to yours, and they will be able to create their own account and password. Note the person you are inviting does not have to have the same domain as you, but do be cautious on who you invite to the CSP, as they could potentially see your orders and invoices, as well as profile information. Now that we have our new user invited, we want to also ensure that we merge any additional accounts. Your organization might have multiple CSP accounts that you would like to consolidate into a single account with multiple users. You will want to merge those accounts. In the sidebar under Admin, click on Merge Requests. Then, enter the email address for the other contact at your company that also received an invite. Click on I'm Not a Robot, select the images, and then Request Merge. You will get a new screen that asks you to choose if you want to merge with their account or are asking them to merge with yours. That is a decision you can make as to your preference. A note is required. Check I'm not a robot, and then send a request. In this case, I'm not going to click on Send Request, but when you do, you'll be brought back to the home page where you will see a green ribbon of success. The other contact will receive the merge request, and they will want to click on View Merge Request in the email to review the request and accept or decline. I want to call out that multi-factor authentication can also be enabled directly from your account settings. Click your username and select Account Settings. And here it is. We have one more thing to do in the Setup tab, and that is to set up our legal entity and remit to. It is important to create your legal entity name and enter your remit to, ship from, and invoice from addresses so that the invoices have these details included when you're ready to send your invoices to GE Healthcare. This is required to send invoices, as the CSP will not transmit an invoice to GE Healthcare if these fields are blank. We will look at the invoice itself shortly, but do make setting this up a priority. To do that, first let's click on Legal Entity Setup. You can see I already have one here, so I'll make another for a test. Click on Add Legal Entity and add the name that's registered with the local government and the country where it is located. Then click Continue. If you are connected to multiple customers, you can make these addresses available to them as well, or just choose GE Healthcare. Fill in the address where you invoice from. Next, you have the Use this address for remit to and ship from. I will keep them checked, but you can uncheck to provide alternative addresses. If you uncheck the remit to, this means that your legal entity address is different than your invoicing address. If you uncheck the ship from, you will then be able to add or create the ship from address on the individual invoices when the time comes. If you know the appropriate details for your tax ID, please add it here. Now let's click Save and Continue. Next, on the Remit To setup, you will select your payment type and where to receive payment. The payment type that you select here does not update what GE Healthcare has in their system. Please note that your choice for payment type must be address, which will be the auto-selected option. If you instead select bank account or virtual card, you may receive errors when trying to save your remit to. For German suppliers specifically, please ensure to add bank details as they are required on invoices. Now click Save and Continue. Here you can add another remit to, manage, or deactivate. Click Next. Here you can add a ship from address, manage, or deactivate. And click Done. You will now see a congratulations check mark and the opportunity to return to admin, which is what you want to do. And here the new one is. The Home tab is your public profile, where you will find announcements displayed from GE Healthcare. To update information about your company, click on View Profile. As you can see, my profile has some information added. Please take the time to complete your profile, as this creates a public record that allows visibility to other customers. To update your profile, click Edit Profile in the top right corner. Now that we have our CSP account and profile updated, let's take a look at invoices. Always make sure you choose the right customer if you have more than one linked in the dropdown. And here, you can see the invoices for that account. You will note two options. 1. Create invoice from PO. This is to choose a PO and invoice from it. And 2. Create a credit note. This is to create a credit back to GE Healthcare and is not meant to be used for any rebates. First up, create invoice from PO. When we click the button, we'll be brought to the orders table. Select a PO to invoice and click on the gold coins under the action column. Wait for it to load. And from the dropdown, select your entity and click Save. Enter an invoice number. You can add additional documentation by clicking on Choose File and uploading from your computer. Any field marked with the red asterisk is required. Scrolling down, we can add any shipping charges if authorized, as well as applicable taxes. For the tax rate selection, please note to not select either exempt or reverse charge, as GE Healthcare will need to reject invoices with those tax rates. Instead, use your applicable tax rate or select 0%. GE Healthcare expects the price to be the same on the invoice as on the PO. The price can be adjusted within the threshold of 1% if there's a genuine reason for this change. Do not adjust any of the unit of measure, currency, or quantity fields, as these invoices will be disputed. Additionally, any closed purchase orders or PO lines cannot have invoices submitted against them. Please also do not flip the price or quantity fields on any invoice. Click Calculate to add the total, then click on Submit. A confirmation pop-up will appear, then click Send Invoice. Wait for it to load. And your invoice has now been submitted to GE Healthcare for processing and payment, and you will be returned to the invoice table. Next, create a credit note. A pop-up opens. We want to always keep the first button checked. GE Healthcare does not use Coupa for rebates. Then click the drop-down and choose the invoice number that's been submitted to GE Healthcare and click Continue. You will see a new pop-up to either completely cancel or adjust the invoice. Let's choose Completely Cancel, then click Create. Enter the credit note number, check for any required fields, review the information is correct, scroll to the bottom, and click Submit. You will get the confirmation pop-up, then click Send Credit Note. Coupa will then ask if you want to create a new invoice to replace the one you just canceled. You can select No. Now we are back to the Invoices tab, and you can see some statuses under the Status column. Processing means the invoice is in transit to GE Healthcare. Approved means invoice has been paid. Draft means the invoice has not yet been submitted. And pending approval means that GE Healthcare has received the invoice, and it is pending approval within GE Healthcare prior to processing for payment. Now that we've discussed invoices, let's talk purchase orders. Again, make sure you have the right customer in your dropdown. Now on the table of POs, you can see a few things. On the right side, you see the gold coins. You can create an invoice by clicking on them as we did before. Or you can click the PO number link. Let's choose an order. You can click on the Acknowledge box. You can also print the order, or you can even create an invoice from here as well. Please note, if you receive POs from GE Healthcare's ERP system, you will invoice those POs from the CSP. You can set a custom view if needed to view orders with their associated ERP PO number by navigating to Purchase Orders, finding the View option, and selecting Create View. This will open a page to create your custom view. Enter in a name, confirm if you would like to share the view with everyone in your CSP, and set any additional conditional requirements for your view. Under Columns, simply drag and drop the columns you would like to be shown, like ERP PO number. Once you select Save, you'll be brought back to the PO tab. I already have an ERP PO view created, which I will show you now. Here you can see the ERP PO number column. Now that we've completed our demo, let's go over some next steps. Keep an eye on your emails for the CSP invite. It may arrive in your spam folder, so double check there. Click on Join Coupa as soon as possible and get yourself fully registered. In the meantime, be sure to bookmark the website supplier.coupahost.com to ensure you can always navigate back to the CSP. Once set up in the CSP, please avoid use of other invoicing methods. As Tungsten is shut down, please email invoices to AP if you are not set up in the CSP. Please contact the AP team for any payment, remittance, or banking details, questions, or updates. Please reach out to the vendor management team or sourcing for any supplier detail updates. That concludes the CSP demo. Should you have additional questions, please be sure to contact GE Healthcare directly at supplierenable.coupa@gehealthcare.com.